The United States is finally preparing to provide Ukraine with some of the long-range weapons that the Ukrainians have been demanding for months. For too long, Ukraine's Western allies have been massively arming this country to fight not the real thing, but a caricature of modern warfare. The consequences of this decision are clearly visible in maps that show only minor, incremental changes to the front line 500 days after Russia's invasion. The Ukrainians launched highly anticipated counteroffensive almost 4 months ago and pushed the Russians back to a few locations in the Zaporozhye region, but were unable to mount full-scale armored breakthrough. In contrast, Ukraine's missile strikes behind enemy lines have led notable successes in recent months. Most importantly, it was to force Russia withdraw significant elements of its Black Sea Fleet from its base at the port of Sevastopol in occupied Crimea. As Russia prepared to invade Ukraine in February 2022, many military analysts imagined tankled troops would advance rapidly and crush the Ukrainian army. It was a vision of the war that continues to shape Western policy now. Ukraine is trying retake territory. The United States and other NATO countries provided armored vehicles and combined arms combat training, mainly to help Ukraine launch a direct attack on Russia's front lines. However, making a decisive breakthrough at the front, which has always been difficult, has now become extremely challenging. The Russians, on other hand, attacked the small Ukrainian city Bakhmut for 5 months and captured a small piece of land at cost great losses. Defensive weapons made even the best tanks and vehicles vulnerable to damage from cheaper and more numerous equipment. If vehicles are massed together in preparation for an attack, they can be destroyed, or at least slowed, by many different means, such as mines, artillery, handheld rocket launchers or, increasingly, drones. Daniel Block. Washington's Russia red line will not be crossed, yet one of successful breakthroughs in past 16 months came when Ukraine was able to attack a very lightly defended part of Russian line in Kharkiv region. This underlines that forward progress is only possible if Ukraine identifies weak points or creates them by striking military facilities and logistics deep in the front line so that Russia cannot transport personnel, weapons and supplies to the front. That's why Ukrainian officials are so insistent on acquiring the US-made Army Tactical Missile System, or ATACMS. This munition, which can be fired from a vehicle-mounted high-mobility artillery rocket system, has a much longer range than conventional artillery or even the Western-supplied multiple launch rocket system that Ukrainian forces have used to great effect. Unfortunately, the United States has offered Ukraine only a limited amount of long-range weapons. As I noted at beginning of this year, the West's approach to military assistance was to prepare Ukrainian force